Esther Mcvey delivers one hell of a speech over cancel culture and how to prevent it spreading. Esther Mcvey is calling for a crackdown to stop woke activists and organizations that attack Britain's history and culture from receiving taxpayers' cash. The former Work and Pensions Secretary has written to the Cabinet Office demanding an urgent review to uncover how much public money is funding politically motivated campaigners she accuses of talking down Britain. Today she is joining other Tory backbenchers to launch a New Britain Uncancelled campaign to tackle the spread of so-called cancel culture. The push, supported by the blue-collar conservative and common-sense groups of Tory backbenchers, will target attempts to topple statues, stifle debate and smear icons such as Sir Winston Churchill as racist. Ms Mcvey said she finds it intolerable that those who seek to cancel our culture, hate Britain and want to muzzle the views of the British people receive government funding. MPs noted how the Arts and Humanities Research Council, a quango supported by the Department for Business, has handed up to £100,000 to an academic who denounced Winston Churchill as a scourge and an imperialist horror. A separate grant of £325,000 went to another academic who claimed the Union flag increases nationalism and feelings of superiority, rather than patriotism. Sir John Hayes, chairman of the Common Sense group of Tory MPs, thinks it is crucial that Britain does not hide from its past. He said, "The government needs to do more to stand up for Britain's patriotic majority that sees its cry for decency being drowned out by the shrill, incessant noise of the frenzied mob." Boris Johnson's government has already begun taking action to curb cancel culture after calls for Churchill's statue and other historic monuments to be removed due to their connections to Britain's imperial past. A higher education, freedom of speech bill seeking to guarantee free speech on university campuses is also currently being considered by Parliament. A Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport spokesman said, "All DCMS grant funding is provided in line with clear government guidelines, which include rules against spending taxpayers' money on ineligible activities such as paid-for lobbying. These British values guarantee our civic harmony and social cohesion. Yet there is an emerging anti-British, anti-free speech worldview being weaponized by a loud minority of political campaigners, especially online and on university campuses, impacting upon the everyday lives of millions of Brits. These political campaigners seek to divide, rather than unite the country, and they inflict their discriminatory opinions on the rest of us by trashing British heritage, toppling statues, flag-shaming and seeking to silence those with whom they disagree." Back in 2016, the Westminster Village was shocked when the country voted to leave the EU. And in 2019, it was jolted again by the size of the Conservative majority. That's because there are millions of people out there who don't live their every waking moment on social media, or on criticizing others. They're getting on with their lives, looking after their families and working hard. Our promise to level up should mean that our party defends the views and values of those who have continued to be unheard in the national conversation. So that's why I find it so intolerable that these hard-working British taxpayers are being forced to fund these intolerant, politically motivated campaigners, who want to cancel our culture, who hate Britain, and who want to end free speech and muzzle the views of the British people. Last December, at the height of the pandemic, the Race Equality Centre was awarded tens of thousands of pounds to spread the message that there is an invasive virus of systemic, structural and institutional racism as a core feature of the fabric of British society. You can believe racism still exists, that it is disgusting, and want to do everything you can to root it out and defeat it as I do without labelling our entire country racist. We've got to listen and learn from each other, and from our history, not tear it down and judge people and our country by the values it demonstrates today, not things that happened hundreds of years ago that don't define who we are anymore. There is so much that is good about Britain, and so much British culture and heritage to be proud about. So it's time we got a grip of this, rein in this appalling use of the public's money, and show some pride and optimism about our country, and reverse this damaging cancel culture trend before we lose it all for good.